Okay, so last story. Last story is about Mario. And I was just making mention of the absolute unbelievable run it had. This film is a juggernaut. There's no other word for it. It's an absolute juggernaut. And I don't know if Illumination or even Universal knew what they had on their hands. I think they did, but I don't even think they were going to have it perform this well. So, according to the Hollywood Reporter, Super Mario has crossed $500 million globally. It took less than a week for Universal and Illumination's movie to zoom past Ant-Man and the Wasp, becoming the top-grossing film of 2023. It is also the number one video game adaptation of all time. Mario, number one. In under a week, Universal and Illumination's Nintendo's video game adaptation, The Super Mario Bros., has already become the top-grossing 2023 release to date at the global box office, with $508 million in worldwide ticket sales through Thursday. It only took a matter of days for Super Mario to knock off Ant-Man and the Wasp, the previous year's best earner, at $474 million in global ticket sales, including a $212 million domestic. Super Mario's domestic gross through Thursday stands at $260 million, which is likewise the top showing of the year to date. Overseas, it's earned a stellar $248.4 million. The list of records shattered by this movie since its launch over the long Easter holiday continues to grow, now ranking as the top-grossing video game adaptation of all time, passing up Warcraft at $439 million and Pokemon Detective Pikachu at $449 million. And its second biggest animated film since 2019, behind fellow Illumination's released Minions, which earned $942.5 million during its last year. Super Mario bumps anime blockbuster Slayer, which earned $494 million worldwide, to number 3. Other notable stats as it heads into its second weekend. Super Mario is already Universal's 10th biggest animated film of all time at the global box office. It is only among 13 Hollywood films to have crossed $500 million worldwide since 2019. Of the 13, 5 of them belong to Universal, more than any other studio. The other 4 are Dominion, or Jurassic World Dominion, Rise of Grogu, Fast 9, and No Time to Die. Elsewhere, a plethora of other new movies hit North American cinemas this weekend in what marks as one of the most varied and crowded lineups since the pandemic struck. Universal's modern-day Dracula comedy Renfield, starring in Screen Gem's supernatural thriller The Post-Exodus, are already finding themselves in a close race. Many analysts believe the former will prevail. Renfield, starring Nicholas Hoult and Nicolas Cage, started off with $900,000 in Thursday previews, followed by $850,000 for Russell Crowe's starring The Pope's Exodus. Tracking suggests the two films will open between the $8 to $10 million range. A wild card is anime maestros Haki Shindo's coming of age anime adventure. A hit in their home territories of Japan late last year, the film is now rolling internationally after playing in competition at the 2023 Berlina. Okay, so it was a film festival. Excuse me. Anime has been doing big business since United States theaters, and as some theaters could say that this could open between 5 to 8 million. So basically, here's the story. It's just going to keep going and going. Widely educated guess Super Mario will cross $1 billion. Yeah, I have no doubt, David. So, says considering its pace. Now, here's what I'm going to say, and is anybody who knows this, okay? It is not about opening weekend. Now, getting back to what I was saying earlier, the thing is that this is the 30th largest opening of all time. Let me repeat that. Of all time. It's only $2 million back of Guardians 2. That being said, the other 130 some odd million that it made, or the other 60 million it made, was helpful. Yeah, I can't imagine this not. If it doesn't cross $1 billion, it's going to get very, very close. But like I was going to say, it's not about the opening weekend. As everybody knows, it's about the second weekend. So usually in that second weekend, what you want, okay, is you want to drop between, if you can get 40 to 50%, fantastic. 50 to 60%, okay. If it drops 60 to 70% like Ant-Man did and it fell off a cliff, they're in trouble. Now, considering if we want to go just on the Friday to Sunday numbers at 150, my guess is, so there's a couple of things at play here. Number one, it's short. It's only 93 minutes. Number two, it is an IP everybody knows. Number three, it is kid and adult friendly. It's a 4-quadrant film, okay? You're going to get gamers, you're going to get adults, you're going to get kids. That all being said, if I had to put a number on this, I would probably say it's going to make between 70 and 80 million. Because, while Renfield's going to do well, and The Pope's Exorcist is going to do well, don't forget, Russell Crowe's in his 60s. I want to say he's 63, 64. That all being said, okay? It's one of those things, unless you know Russell Crowe, okay, and you like his work, and you've watched his work, then so he's 59. He's going to be turning 60. As a matter of fact, he just celebrated his 59th birthday last week, a week from today. That all being said, that's going to skew toward the older crowd, okay? Just like Air is skewing toward that crowd. So we have Metal here says, I don't know, it's a toss-up to me. It's a toss-up that it's going to make $1 billion? Yeah, I mean, it could. I think it's going to depend, Metal, on how well it does here this week, and B, okay, what it continues to do overseas. If it continues, so it's made almost $250 million overseas in 55, 56 markets. If it continues to do that, it will definitely make $1 billion in a heartbeat. And the fact that this is only the 13th film ever to cross $1 billion since 2019 says something. This movie is an absolute juggernaut, as I said at the start of the piece. There's not much else you're going to say. This is going to rule, really, the box office until May 5th. That's it. It's going to make its money. This was a perfect pocket for Super Mario because it slid in, it's going to make a ton of money, and then it's going to get out once Guardians comes. And then you're not even talking about all the streaming revenue it's going to make. I can't even imagine. That would be interesting. So I did make mention of the repeat viewing. I did make mention of that because it is only 93 minutes. Yeah. So, I mean, you're going to have kids wanting to go see this over and over. Oh, no, I because of that. No, absolutely. With multiple shows. This is going to rule the box office for the next 2 weeks until Guardians hits. And then, of course, Guardians is going to clean up. But everybody's going to forget about Mario. So I think that, do you think it will make enough for a part 2? Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, Metal. In a heartbeat. There's no doubt in my mind. I think this was a beautiful accident for Universal and Illumination. That's what I think. And I think the fact that they opened it here, they said, oh, wow, we got something here. And that being said, I think that the fact is that they get it. They know what they have. And now you can do a whole Mario universe. You can do Super Smash Brothers. You can do Mario Kart. You can do a whole number of things. But it was just a matter of this first one. I absolutely don't be shocked within a couple of years if you see another one released. Don't be shocked in, let's say, by 3 weeks, 4 weeks, if you're going to hear about a sequel being made, because they want to strike when the iron's hot, right? And I would say this much. I would go so far as to say this. You could even now the this was interesting because Easter fell on a Wednesday or right around this time. You could see them actually put this out for Christmas, okay, and really get the units up, or a summer. But it's all going to depend on what is coming out that summer. So, for example, I don't see them putting out one in 2025 when Superman Legacy is coming out. Right around that. There's no way. There's no way. So, because we're going to have a stacked summer next year too. So this is all of the films we're getting to. I mean, the Batman was really the first one. All these films we're getting are because of the pandemic. You got to remember that. The Batman, Guardians, The Flash has been done for 3 years almost. It had been in the can for almost 2 to 3 years. So, I really think that, that's going to be an interesting movie. And we'll talk more about that in a couple of weeks. But yeah, so this movie is just amazing. Now, will it cross $1 billion? That remains to be seen. It's all going to depend on how well it does this week. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that it could hit $1 billion? Do you guys think that, how much do you think it's going to make this weekend? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I'll get back to everybody.